What do you do when the person who trusts you the most passes away right in front of you, and the last thing they saw was you smiling for a photo? Dear hearts, my name is Asha, your letter reader. This letter is just not a story, it's a confession from a man who lost his best friend, a man who was more like a brother. He writes to us to finally breathe, to let go of the words that have been suffocating him for over a decade. His name is Ryan. He's from LA, California, and he works as a sales manager for a luxury car company. And now, these are his words.
I grew up, like many of you, in a family where feelings were never discussed. For me, writing my heartly was the only time I felt truly free and at peace. Whenever life got too loud, I wrote, sometimes alone, sometimes with my writing brothers. Then, in January 2010, at work, I met somebody named Matthew. I never imagined this person would change my entire life. He was assigned to me as an intern. Matthew came from a small countryside town in Montana, middle class, humble. His mother worked 2 jobs just to put food on the table. His little sister was in 7th grade at that time. He was the hero of the family. Matthew didn't smoke, he didn't drink, he didn't talk to girls, not just because he was shy, because he was focused. He was wired differently, brilliant, grounded, grateful. He worked harder than anybody I've seen. One of those rare souls you don't meet twice in lifetime. Over time, things changed between us. We weren't just colleagues no more. We became good friends in no time. And he started to feel like a younger brother to me. We worked late hours together, went on rides, talked about our lives, our dreams, and even things we regretted. Slowly, our lives began to intertwine in a way I never saw coming. In November 2012, for the Thanksgiving long weekend, I had an idea. A road trip to Yosemite National Park from LA. So I planned everything. We would leave Tuesday at 6 p.m. after work, ride through the night, rest on Wednesday, and then spend Thursday, Friday, and Saturday hiking and exploring. On Saturday night, we would start our ride back and arrive on Sunday morning. That way, we would still have time to rest before work on Monday. He was so happy, like a little kid before their first school picnic. So, we rode through the open mountain roads. We stopped at small diner for meals, grabbed coffee at gas stations, and took pictures at beautiful spots along the way. About 3 or 4 hours before we reached Yosemite, a thick fog began to roll in. It looked like something out of a dream, and we were amazed, so we pulled over again. I asked Matthew to take a picture of me. The mountains were behind me, and the fog looked like a soft blanket drifting through them. He smiled, lifted the camera to take a picture of me. And then it happened. I heard a loud, deep roar in the distance. A huge transport truck was swerving out of control, coming straight towards us. I could feel the ground shaking under my feet. I looked at Matthew, and in the moment, I saw it. Fear in my eyes, real, sudden, terrifying. There was no time to run, no time to think at all. And then, everything turned to chaos, and I went blank and unconscious. After some time, I woke up in sharp pain and injuries. A metallic smell of blood filled the air, and I could taste it at the back of my throat. People from nearby ran over to me, shouting, and pulled me off the road, away from the truck. The smell of the smoke and gasoline stung my nose. I heard our voices calling for help. I turned my head, saw Matthew. He was laying still, motionless. The world seems to slow down. They were doing CPR, pounding on his chest, but he didn't respond. After a while, it became clear it was too late. A serious head injury with no heartbeat. My brother was gone. in a single terrible moment. I got out of the hospital after a few days, but I couldn't say goodbye to my brother at his funeral. I had to stay in bed for a few weeks, feeling both the pain of healing and the sadness of losing him. When I returned to work after a month, everything reminded me of him: his empty desk, his coffee mug, his laugh. His voice still echoes in that space. My work suffered, my spirit crumbled. I kept asking myself, why did I take him on that trip? Why did I ask for that photo? Why wasn't it me instead of him? I called Matthew's mother countless times. Hours, days, a week just passed to hear her voice. Finally, after what I felt like forever, she answered. When I was sobbing, I told her that Matthew was my brother, and she was like my family too. I wanted to take care of them, especially his sister. I want to be a part of their lives, to give back something, anything to honor him. She didn't want to hear it. She blamed me. She said I had taken her son away. And maybe she was right. 13 years has passed, but I have never touched my motorcycle again. I kept both our helmets in the box, untouched, like a memory I cannot let go of. When my son was born, I named him Matthew, so every time I call his name, a part of my friend lives on. I wanted so badly to be a part of his family, to give them their love. He no longer could, but the doors were closed to me. The weight, the pain, it has lived in my chest for more than a decade. And writing this letter won't bring him back, but maybe, just maybe, it will free a part of me. And if his sister hears these words and reaches me out, I'll be the happiest man alive, because she'll know that even all these years later, I never stopped being her brother too.
Dear hearts, Ryan's story shows us how fragile life really is and how heavy guilt can feel. If this story spoke to you, subscribe so we can keep growing, learning, and healing together. Also, in the comments, share what would you do differently if you or someone you care about were in this situation. Also, if this story makes you think of someone who values friendship like family, share it with them. You never know how much it could mean to them.
Also, write to us your story. Details are mentioned below.